You get me out of here, I'll do the same for you. You're gonna need me!
Hey everybody, we are back with another Let's Talk Resident Evil. It's been about a month, and it's good because we wanted to see how the last episode did, and it did very well. And I want to thank everybody for listening to it and downloading it, and enjoying it, because we were gone for a while, and I didn't know if everybody was going to still be interested in listening to us, but you guys pulled through, and just thank you for that. And now, though, this week, we have what we wanted to do last week, where we kind of briefly brought it up, but then we wanted to make it into a show, was we wanted to cover the Resident Evil movies, because we never really went into full detail about these, and we can kind of give our opinions on it and our experiences with it when they first came out, up until now.
Like, we each reviewed them.
Yeah.
But as far as the podcast goes, we didn't really, tell you guys our opinions. We just kind of made fun of them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it'll be cool to, go through the cast of each one and stuff, and just talk about premise and memories and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because me and Richard both share fond memories of both the games and the movies, so it'll be cool to... it's not just a one-way thing with a review. It's more so of a duo, kind of, collecting thoughts about, both films, as far as, not both films, both, kind of both brains working at it and just saying, oh, well, this was, I thought this was funny, or this was, you know what I mean? It's just kind of cool to get that other side. Because a lot of you guys want us to, go in depth about... For example, Resident Evil 7, an actual topic and stuff like that. We've done that. I just want to say that we've done that in, I think, one of the other episodes. I mean, I know we've done it in a few episodes where we kind of, said...
I remember we had Perry on the show, and he was, asking us, okay, what premise would you do? Come on, let's come up with story and characters.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we're actually coming up with our own ideas for RE7. And I already brought up the George Trevor idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Perry brought up an idea where Jill has to go in and get her niece or something.
Yeah.
But point is, we have already, talked about or what we'd like RE7 to be.
Yeah, and that's why we're doing... that's why we could easily turn around and say, oh, we're going to do that. But the thing is, we've already done that several times.
Yeah.
I don't know what episode number it was, but go back and look at the descriptions of one of the episodes if you guys haven't heard it. Back last year in April or whenever it was, a while ago, but almost a year ago. But we already talked about that. But so we want to keep it fresh and not rehash the same thing. Obviously, no Resident Evil news has broken out. So besides, I think Resident Evil 4 coming out on Steam, which if you guys are PC gamers. I'm somewhat of a PC gamer, and I wouldn't mind getting it on the PC, just because, I'm a sucker for RE4. I don't mind playing through it again. I've been having the urge to play through it again, so I'm just going to wait until it comes out on PC. But other than that, there's no other news, and we're going to talk about the film. So, 2002 was when... Well, first of all, you know what? Let's talk about the George A. Romero script, because I think it's appropriate to bring up. If you guys haven't known about this, there's a script that Romero wrote. Just type in Resident Evil George A. Romero, and you'll find the script, first link on Google. And what he wrote, I'd say it had to be back in 1998, 97, 98, around there, 99 maybe. And Capcom hired him, and he wrote a script based off the first game. And it was pretty interesting, and it actually followed the game very well. The thing that was different was that Chris and Jill were a couple, and they have sex in the opening scene, I think, which was I like when people kind of put that twist on it. You know what I mean? They kind of add something a little bit different throw a little curveball that you wouldn't expect out of the gate. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they're like a couple, when in the game they're just, partners in the first game. So
Wasn't Chris like a hunter? Like in the first page or the second page, he's like outside.
yeah, like
And he's
something,
like he's doing something outside.
Yeah,
I read the first few pages years ago, but I didn't read the whole script.
Yeah,
People
they
have
made
told
him-
me like different
Yeah.
things about it.
all fans have read it and given their opinions. But
I think I read somewhere that George A. Romero actually, I think while he was playing the game, he had his secretary take notes or something, something like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but
well,
if
the,
it is,
the
that'd be
opening
pretty
scene
funny.
apparently, if I remember, it has James Marcus in it. So like they really went into detail. Like they actually had origin stories.
James Marcus?
I don't.
Was James
so-
Marcus even in the like around during that time? Because I thought he came in during Zero.
I don't even know. It was somebody, because it was a flashback to something, and like they had somebody in there. I probably really fucked that up, but what I'm trying to get to is I'll try to look it up right now. But they had origin stories behind it, so it wasn't just kind of like, all right, we're just gonna start in the mansion. We're just gonna, you know what I mean? He was trying to cover kind of like the backstory that you wouldn't get in like a PlayStation game, because back then you didn't know everything, even by reading the files. And I'm sure they had more insight from Capcom, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, he wrote the script, and apparently Capcom fired him because they just didn't agree with something, or they didn't maybe like how it turned out. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
There's not a clear story, and I don't think George A. Romero ever came out and talked about it. Probably because he just didn't like care. He's probably like, well, fuck you guys. I can make another movie for more, for more money, and like, I'm not going to waste my time. But the whole point is that he had a really solid script,
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I just think that, I don't know.
I have the script open right here. There is a character named Marcus.
Oh, okay.
So, stay away from here. This lab must remain sealed. For God's sake, don't come in. Look here. Resident Evil.
Yeah, I mean, when I actually went through the script, it covered the first game very well. They just established the relationships a bit differently than the games, but truth be told is that you're going to have some changes in the scripts. Now, when they fired him, the movie was kind of like stuck in development hell for a little bit, up until, I guess, 2001, or 2000 or 2001, when they hired Paul W.S. Anderson from Mortal Kombat fame. That movie is so bad that it's good, but it's not really like a good film.
I hear it's one of those guilty pleasure movies.
It's just, I count how many times, if you guys even, I don't know if you haven't seen it, but just count how many times somebody is jumping in slow-mo in that movie. Because apparently it's a lot, and that's what that movie's known for. But that's beside the point. They got him to do the script. So here we are, we got Resident Evil. And I don't think she was married to him at the time. But they got Mila Jovovich, which is how you actually pronounce her last name, to play a character we don't even know called Alice, which is just a made-up character. And now, I want to take you guys back to when I saw this, because we'll talk about our experiences and then we'll go into the film. So the first time I saw this film, I didn't know what the hell it was about. Because I was I don't even know how old I was. I was a little kid. I just saw Resident Evil, and oh my god, there's going to be Jill in it, and there's probably going to be zombies. So when I see this fucking girl walk on the screen, I'm like, oh shit, she's got boots? This must be Jill. But it's just not. It just started like, I started to get confused, but back then I was like, this is still awesome because, it's Resident Evil. How can I complain?
Yeah.
But, back then I thought it was awesome. Then as I got older and I started rewatching the films, I was just like, or this film anyway, I was just like, Yeah, if I'd known this when I was a little kid, I probably would have the same problems with it that I do now. But they did a complete, it just had nothing to do with the games. Nothing. Just throw out everything you know about the games. And I think at that time, the newest game out was Remake, or Zero. So there was the established trilogy, and then there was Code Veronica, and yeah. And I think Outbreak was coming out, or Dead Aim was coming out, or something. But you get what I'm saying. The main story was established. They did the complete opposite of what people probably were expecting, and just did this whole, they had the Hive, okay, and they tried to develop, and they had the Lickers. Like, they threw in some stuff that you're just like, all right, this is kind of cool. It's kind of like the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, as I like to call it. Like, hey, look at that. See, we put that in there for you. But I don't know. But when I saw it back then, I was like, oh, this is cool. This is a cool movie. But then as you get older, you see what they did differently and what they kind of like. If you look at George A. Romero's script compared to this script, which is far superior from the games, you're just like, man, what the hell happened? Because you had all these characters, and I didn't really like the characters in the first one. They were kind of forgettable,
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. But why don't you explain your first time seeing this film? Because my first time was, when I was a little kid, and I thought it was awesome. It was fucking Resident Evil. But go on.
I was a little older when I first saw it. In fact, I had already seen Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay. So
you went back and watched the first one.
Yeah. Like, my friend at the time was really into Resident Evil. He's the person who introduced me to the series. It would still take a few years for me to actually get into the games, but Apocalypse was one of those movies that he would watch again and again.
Yeah.
And one time, we basically just rented it from the store and we watched it. So, that's the first time I saw Apocalypse. But afterwards, I believe it was the weekend we were going to see Extinction, actually.
Oh, okay. So September 2007.
Yeah. And I went on YouTube, and back then it was on YouTube in 10 parts. So it was like...
the classic 10-part.
Yeah, the classic, back then you could watch anything on YouTube, but it would be divided. And I watched it that way, and I was like, okay, this is... At the time, it felt creepier than Apocalypse and Extinction. It felt like it had the least amount of action.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that it was my least favorite of the three. But
yeah, it is for me still.
Like, back then, I did have a certain respect for it because I wasn't as critical as I am now. And, these movies are really good for kids. I mean, I don't think it's appropriate for kids, but hell, if you can watch it, go ahead and watch it. Fuck restrictive parents, basically. But if you watch it as a kid, you're going to enjoy it a lot more as when you watch it as an adult. And it's funny because the first Resident Evil movie is rated R, and it has no blood or gore or anything. It's PG-13.
It could have easily been cut to PG-13,
yeah.
But I think there was
it feels like PG-13, but
well, I think the laser scene made it an R.
Probably, that's probably the thing that bumped it up to an R. But
and that scene was pretty cool.
It was
pretty cool.
That was funny though, because when the girl gets her head chopped off,
yeah,
the laser travels at a flat angle, and then when her head falls off, it's at a tilted angle.
It's at a yeah.
So it's how, why? That doesn't make sense.
They didn't really think, but they're just all right, decapitation, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was it.
But yeah, those movies used to be really fun for younger people, I guess.
Well, I think that's why we do have nostalgia with these movies, regardless of the criticism that can come with them, because we saw them at a certain age where you can make a lot of memories with just a game or a movie or a like a
Yeah, I
song
feel
or
like when you're a
something,
kid,
you know?
it's fun to compare things.
Yeah.
So, like, this is a little off topic, but take, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Yeah. Oh, that's
When-
a perfect example.
When I was a kid, I would always compare that to the 90s series.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate on the films for not being like the cartoon. I was like, whoa. Like, I like how they made Doc Ock more serious and they gave him a trench coat, and he doesn't have a German accent.
Yeah, like
Stuff like that. Like, it used to be fun comparing things.
Yeah, but even then, like, even now, I still think the Raimi trilogy is still a good trilogy. Despite some flaws in the third one, it's not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just have nostalgia with them, and I won't look at the Amazing Spider-Man or whatever they're doing now the same.
Hoodie
It's
Smurf.
just not. Yeah, it's just.
Hoodie Smurf.
Well, like, here's the thing, though. I mean, with Resident Evil, that film was kind of like just establishing its own story, because we didn't know it was going to get up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the first film now, you're just like, oh, well, it's not going to get up to the point of, like, clones and fucking...
the first
crazy
movie
shit
felt really small
compared
because you're in an underground lab and
with umbrella soldiers.
it's basically just zombies.
Yeah.
And like 4 movies later, you're fucking all over the world and like there's fucking clones everywhere and telekinesis.
The world's extinct, then it isn't extinct.
Yeah,
and then
the
it's
water's
just like-
gone and then the water's back.
Yeah, everything's dried out, then everything seems to be put back in place, whatever.
My name is.
But here's the thing, though. The one thing that I saw when I was a kid at the end, when he was like, we need to take him in the Nemesis program, I was like, oh shit,
Oh shit.
fucking Nemesis. And back then, Resident Evil, and till this day, Resident Evil 3 was my favorite fucking game. And I couldn't wait to see Nemesis and just to see what he looks like. But at the same time, I was like, why is this guy turning into Nemesis? Whatever his name was. What was his name? Fucking Matt, yeah. She was like screaming, Matt! And then fucking they're taking him away because the liquor fucking hit him.
So like in the film universe, Nemesis is basically a rearranged liquor,
Yeah,
I guess.
so to speak.
He was
yeah.
mutating into one of them, and then they do surgery, and the surgery makes him Nemesis. I guess I don't know how that works.
Guess. I mean, there was I don't know. There was like a good time where I enjoyed that film for like what it was. But then as I got older, I was like, as a whole, it's like it's just not based off the game, so it works for what it is. But the film itself had a lot like that they could have done with it with the original script, and then you kind of look at what they did with that script, and they just kind of made it their own. And that could be a good or a bad thing because it can attract new fans, but it's also giving off the wrong message because it's like that's not. I think, in my opinion, I think that the first one probably has like the most horror, if you want to call it horror, because it has like more jump scares. It has more like just kind of like it's more isolated. And I don't know if you agree with that, but I think
like I said that it felt the creepiest.
Yeah, it felt the creepiest.
Out of the 3,
and, yeah,
when I first watched it, and I don't know.
Yeah, because I remember renting it on VHS way back again.
I remember
To see
looking
it.
at the cover way back. I was
Yeah.
like, who is this chick in the red dress?
Yeah, I remember I wanted to rewatch it, so I rented it on VHS. Because I saw all of these in the theaters, by the way. Me and Richard saw... Wait, the first one you saw in theaters was Extinction, but me and Richard have...
I saw
have,
all of them in the theaters from Extinction.
Yeah, so me and Richard have good memories of seeing these when they're like newer. But I saw all of them in there, and so VHS was still around, so I wanted to rent it and watch it again, and even then I still thought it was different. But I was always confused as like a kid. I was just like, why is this so different? Who are these characters, Why are they here? Like, who the fuck is Matt? Who cares about Matt? I don't care about Matt.
Who's
and why should I? Go ahead.
Who's One?
What's her name?
That's his name. One.
One. Yeah. What was that chick's name?
Rain.
Rain, played by what's her fucking name?
Mortal Kombat.
Wait, what's her name? What's the actress' name?
Michelle Rodriguez.
Ah, that's who it is. Yeah, she was in fucking Machete.
And Avatar.
And yeah, but I was just like, whatever. The first, honestly, the first one was like the creepiest, but it's not my personal like favorite, if out of the movies, because let's be honest. I mean, the movies they aren't comparable to the games, but they have their own enjoyment factors just from being standalone cheesy action films, which we consider them, or techno action dance films. I don't know what you want to call them. Call them what you want.
I think like if they were different and good, it would have been okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you should always follow the source material to an extent.
To an extent, but
use the same premise, use characters,
yeah.
but like make your own thing out of it. And it didn't really.
Yeah.
It was completely different.
By the time Afterlife came in, they were just like, "Fuck it,
but like,
we're gonna do whatever we want."
Like they're cheesy action films, and you can't look at them as good movies. You can only look at them as like guilty pleasures. Like, wow, this is so bad, it's good.
Yeah, and
that
plus,
kind of way.
like, we kind of grew up with these as well. We kind of have
we have nostalgic feelings towards them. So
yeah, so for us to say we have a favorite, let's not get crucified by fans out there. We just, I mean, come on, they're there, and you know that you're gonna watch them if you're a fan. Like of the games, like you're gonna follow. You're gonna not like, oh, you're definitely gonna watch them, but if you've already watched the originals up until this point, you're probably just going to keep following it just to see what happens, Now, whether you spend full money on it at the theater, that's a different story. But, we're way bigger fans of the games. We know everything about the games that they're, obviously our knowledge is very, flexible as far as the games are concerned. So, it's not that, we cherish the movies over there. Because now, there's people out there, even unfortunately, one of the people that I know, used to know, when you say Resident Evil, they thought the film. I mean, that sucks, but we're not that person, okay? We're not one of those.
I remember when Afterlife first came out, IGN was interviewing this girl.
Yeah.
And she was this gigantic fan of the movies. Like, she had an Alice pillow, and she had, costumes from the movies. She was talking with IGN interviewers. She's like, oh my god, I'm, the biggest fan. And then they, brought her to the movie sets, and they showed her, the different outfits that Mila Jovovich wore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh my god, this is what she wore from Extinction. And then, you go to the comment section, it's like, this girl has no idea that there was a game series.
Jesus Christ.
She does not know.
Yeah, and fucking there's people out there that you say Resident Evil and they think that. Now, I mean, it's a big marketing thing. People are going to know what the movies are. But like I said, they're just there for us fans, and that's why we're doing this. So we just think it's fun to talk about them because they're easy to make fun of. But the first one was more kind of isolated. It was more, you could still make fun of it, but it wasn't as funny as the ones that are to come. But what did you think of the Queen and that fucking, what was her name, the Red Queen?
Yeah.
What did you think of that? Because that was a different concept, the Red Queen controlling everything, and
I thought it worked, in the film.
Yeah. I thought it was
I thought
she
it
was annoying, but they wanted her to be annoying. That was the whole idea.
I thought, for a kid actor, she, managed to pull it off without annoying me. I thought she was decent. And she had, it was it was cool because she's, one of those evil AI characters.
Yeah.
That you would get in, Halo or something. It's like, this
We're all
is
going to die down here.
yeah, like this is like just a cool piece of science fiction. You can take that from things that go as far back as the 60s, from like what's that movie called? 2001: Space Odyssey. Because I believe there was an evil AI in that movie, HAL 9000 or whatever. But I like characters like that. I like artificial intelligence characters that can either be good or bad or in between, whatever. But I don't know. I thought it worked in the movie. I do believe that the game Umbrella Chronicles incorporated that after the movie came out. I did not like the Red Queen in the latest movie, though.
Yeah.
She was annoying in that movie.
What did you think of how it all got exposed, of just the guy like tossing it in a fucking...
It's fucking unnecessary. Why did he toss it?
He's just like, stop, turn around, throw. And
I have to cover my escape somehow and do this.
And the fucking elevator scene with the fucking chick, like, whoosh, right in the... That was kind of cool.
It's like, why didn't the computer just gas them?
Yeah, true.
It's like, you gas everybody, but not the people in the elevator. Instead, you fucking decapitate a person and send the rest, like, plunging to their deaths.
There's just a lot of, like, things where you're just like, come on. Like, really? Like, in that film...
Why is that decapitation at an angle? I clearly saw the laser was flat.
Yeah, exactly. And I do kind of chuckle every time, like, I think it's the, isn't it One, or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
The black dude.
James One Shade. I don't think he's ever called James or Shade in the actual movie. I think they just call him, like, One...
That's easy to remember. It's a memorable name, so.
Yeah.
But, because, I mean, if you're going to come up with a name, come up with something cool. Yeah, not like, fucking One.
Like Brain Ocampo.
Yeah, whatever. And the fact that they appeared in Retribution was probably just a cash grab. Like, we're just going to write these people in for, like, a second, and they're not going to do anything whatsoever just for this fact where it's like, oh, I remember him.
Still said something funny where it's like, they revive characters from older movies as well as the actors' careers.
Yeah! Yeah. Same with Carlos, right? They brought him back.
Yeah.
What's his name? O'Day something or Oded?
Oded Fair.
Oded Fair.
I know him from the Mummy movies.
And I remember he joked about it right after Extinction. He was like, who knows, they could always bring you back and or do something, and then what do you know, they actually do. But anyway, so the first one, all in all, whatever. We both did our reviews on it. But, it's there. And then it brings us to 2004 with Apocalypse. Now, I was excited as shit. I remember I had a magazine and I had Nemesis, and I was like, oh my god, there's Jill in a miniskirt, and there's fucking Nemesis. Like, that was pretty much my dream come true on the big screen. I couldn't wait to see this fucking film. I was like, it's based off my favorite game. It's the Raccoon City, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do. And, again, same thing. It was 2 years later, and I was still a kid, and I saw it, and I loved the fuck out of it. I didn't get why Nemesis had a Gatling gun, but that didn't matter. I was like, all right, fuck it, Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, I was like, why isn't he going after Jill? Because back then I was like, what the fuck? But then I forgot, like, oh, wait, Matt is here, and then they're going to make that connection later, and what do you know? When they're fighting at the final fight, he turns around and fucking starts shooting everything else. But, like, back then I was kind of disappointed, but I was just, like, happy to see, Nemesis on the big screen, regardless of how they're using him, And when I saw that little, like, that back shot of, like, Jill's ass walking up towards the police station, I was just like, oh my god, it's fucking Jill. Like, the fucking fanboy in me was going crazy back then, 2004. But, no, like, Apocalypse was the Raccoon City incident, And there are funny lines and just ridiculous lines, like they're launching a nuke into the city, and then Jill's like, "What yield?" Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, who cares what yield? It's a fucking nuke. What the hell? But it's just like, stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, like just pointless generic dialogue where it's like, shoot for the head. It's like, well,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, it's like the graveyard scene when they're coming out of the fucking things. Like, I'm good, but I'm not that good. Or it's like what? Like what the fuck?
Good, but I'm not that good.
Like what the hell? And then like the cheesy church scene when like she comes in on the fucking bike
Who
and
the
shit.
fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you? Like, But what did you think when you saw some of these things in Apocalypse? Because clearly back then when you saw Apocalypse, were you still weren't really into the games as much?
Yeah, I wasn't into the games when I first saw it.
So you just kind of saw this like guy named Nemesis, and you just saw like
I
all
saw
these...
it when it first came out on VHS.
Oh, okay.
So back in 2004.
All right.
It was I don't know. I mean, I thought it was a good action movie. I was entertained by it. I liked it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
When I remember thinking for the longest time that Nemesis had a Gatling gun in the game. And then it's like people were complaining about that. I'm like, well, the Gatling gun's cool. It suits him. And then like you go to the game, it's like, oh, he never had this.
Yeah, didn't they give it to him though in
the Raccoon City?
In Raccoon City, and I think
Yeah.
the new book covers, don't they have him with a Gatling gun?
They do,
Yeah.
but
Fuck
he doesn't
that.
even have it in the fucking book. But they give it to him on the cover.
That's why I don't like those. I will eventually get those books,
Yeah, like,
just for the sake of collection,
Code
but I don't like
Veronica,
those covers.
For Code Veronica, it shows a picture of like Claire doing like this. I guess it's like a forced sexy pose. Like her ass is like to us, and she's holding
Yeah.
a shotgun. It's like, and it's like I don't know what they're like. This is a goddamn survival horror book. Why are you posing? But like, she's wearing her RE2 outfit.
Yeah, that
like-
doesn't make.
And then if you go to Underworld, she's wearing her Code Veronica outfit.
Yeah, it's like somebody fucked up here.
It's like, did you not read these books? Like, they don't even wear their game outfits in Underworld. I think they just wore like black outfits.
Yeah, that's why like when those came out last year, I was just like, I'm not getting these. This is a piece like this looks like shit. This looks like shit.
I like them because they're consistent with each other.
Yeah.
So it's like they have they have a cool red and black design to them.
Yeah,
And-
I like that.
And it's like, and they have Roman numerals for the volumes, and it's cool because like it's consistent.
Yeah, I'll eventually get them for collection purposes, but as far as like
For me, it was like amazing because I was like, holy shit,
You were
they're
able to-
re-releasing them.
yeah,
It's
you
like,
were
I can
able
read them
to
now.
yeah, you were able to get them as compared to I actually bought them in Borders Books, which is a store that used to be around before everything went digital, and I actually found them. Those old covers back, this is back in 2006,
I
2007.
remember one of my friends had the old covers, and he would bring them to school. He's like, yo, Richard, look at these. It's like, oh. So like grade 1 and 2, I was aware of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool. I always
guess I'll
wondered
never
like
get
who the
into
tyrant
that.
was. And
Yeah.
I specifically remember looking at the City of the Dead one, where it's like
Mhm.
all fiery.
It's all gold, like kind of has a gold
Yeah.
back to it. Like it has Resident Evil in gold, and then it kind of has like the flame. Yeah,
And Leon and Claire are in the set.
Leon and Claire, and yeah, really cool. I remember I used to just read them before, back in grade 7. Yeah, I used to read them a lot. I would read them before like I went to bed. Like I would just be like really interested in reading
Yeah.
them, and it was nice. But anyway, we're taking this all the way around. But
Yeah.
back to
But
fucking Apocalypse.
I thought they did, like, to this day, they did a really good job with the makeup for Nemesis.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I'm
that's-
saying. Like,
That is the way you go, because it's a guy, it's convincing makeup, It's not CGI.
Not which is probably what somebody would do like nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the only downfall to that was that like the suit was so hot that the actor could only be in it for 15 minutes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah, like they say that in the special features, and that just go. I guess that's why he wasn't running in the movie. Because like you look at the movie version, and all he does is walk the whole time. He walks and he shoots shit with unlimited ammo.
Yeah, he kind of has that like slow.
He's got like the
walk.
Michael Myers thing going on. He's like Michael Myers with a gun, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, because in the games, like they made him scary because he would run faster
like
than
in the game,
like, your
he
character.
would fucking rush you.
Yeah,
and
with
you're
that
like,
fucking
holy
punch.
shit! Like,
oh
what do
my
I do
God.
here? He would
Yeah,
jump through windows and shit.
And outrun Jill because that's what they did on purpose. They made him faster than your character. Yeah.
They would put him in like corners where like you would run forward and he would be right there.
Yeah,
and you'd have to like dodge his arm or whatever. It's like how do I fucking dodge this fucker? Like, and he would fucking shoot a rocket at you in like closed spaces. It's like this guy doesn't give a fuck. But
yeah. Well,
in
I didn't know that though. I had no idea that he had to only be in there for that long.
So like the suit was really hot, and they nailed the look of him. With the exception of the tentacles, because he doesn't use them. But
yeah, I mean,
I don't like how he walks the whole time. That's the thing. He's not really that menacing. It's like
I agree. Yeah,
and the stars, they were ruined. It's like they're the best, and then Nemesis just mows them all down in 3 seconds.
He's like they're the best.
I can't believe that these guys are the best, because you haven't shown me they're the best. They're just guys.
And then Peyton gets fucking bit, so that's another one out. And it's just like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, he was actually I liked his character because like I don't know why, I just liked his character because like Jill and him had like a really cool friendship. But then it's like, oh wait, by the way, yeah, we're just gonna fucking get rid of him and all the and it's fun. And plus, here's the thing though. Why they had him say stars when he killed all the stars members just because he says that in the game. The whole reason why he says it in the game is because there's like there's
he's
stars
actually
members.
like hunting down stars members.
He's hunting down stars. In this one,
he's hunting
he's
down
a BOW just sent in
to get Alice.
To get Alice, and then obviously to kill anything in his way. So why even have him say stars at that point?
They were just like, I think in the scene they were demonstrating. No, they were testing him. It's like, let's see how he's against stars. And
that fucking guy on like the microphone. Yeah, let's see what he can do. And then the girl's like, they're the best, and he's like, fuck you, I'm gonna make him.
Best.
But also, like, I don't like how they kind of made him like a machine type. That's not really what he is. He's not controlled by a fucking computer. He's a mind of his. He's a BOW. He's a mind of his own. It's like if they made the Tyrant a fucking computer, they didn't. But I'm saying that's like if you were to say, oh wait, he's you can control his level of how much he can count how many threats. No, he can't do that.
They made him as smart as a Terminator.
Yeah, he's like a cyborg type. Like, no, that's not who he doesn't count his targets. He just fucking trucks through, and there's no control over it. He does what he wants to do. And when I saw that in the movies, I was like, oh, man, like...
It's not really explained in the games, but
we know that
they never portray him as a machine in the video games. He's just a monster that, like, knows how to hunt you down. And I think that's kind of what made him scary.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like this is a guy, like this is a monster who, like, actually
he follows you.
He knows how to think.
Yeah.
And to see, it just strikes me as a missed opportunity, because you could have had like a very intense cat and mouse movie with like with this like invincible threat who's tracking Jill the entire time. And then, like, it can switch between both sides. And we didn't get that. We got a guy who walked around and shot everything.
and was trying to go after Alice.
Yeah, and I don't give a fuck about Alice. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
And Jill is the other problem because
Yeah.
she's completely different. Like, they got this random British chick to play her. And don't get me wrong, she's attractive. But she's not, like... I think that's the only thing going for her. They just, like, made her
They didn't
wear
really
the
nail
outfit.
her personality. They didn't make her really smart. They didn't make her...
I always, like, complain about her hair because, like, Jill has brown hair and she has black hair. It's, like, jet black. So it's
Yeah.
just really distracting to me. And, like, the boots are jet black when the boots are brown in the game.
Yeah.
Those are minor complaints.
There's no sweatshirt around her waist.
No. And it felt like they were purposefully trying to make her sexy when in the game I think she was just wearing that at the time.
Yeah.
But, like, even if she wasn't, like, maybe they try to make her sexy in the game. I don't know. They don't really, like, explain it. They just give her that outfit. But
This fucking, here's a miniskirt for you
in the
guys.
movie, though, like, they have this scene where, like, she's slowly, like, putting on her high heels and you see her legs.
Yeah.
And
then
she, like,
she walks
she
out,
walks
yeah.
up the police station stairs and you see her ass. It's like that's
Saves
something
LJ.
Michael Bay would do with his fucking Victoria models in the Transformers movies. It's like, you're not really, like, getting me to like this character. You're getting me to like how
Yeah,
good she
like,
looks.
even... yeah.
It's working, but, you know, I know, like, the other half of me knows that it's, you know, pointless cardboard cutout character.
Yeah, like that. Even when I was a little kid, I enjoyed it. But like again, like as looking back, you're just seeing
She
like,
was
man,
a
like
bitch.
yeah, she was a
She,
bitch.
like, smoked. She, like, said the F word every other word.
yeah,
She was excommunicated. It's like, we don't like you. We're going to kick you out of Stars. Jill would never get kicked out of Stars.
Jill was like the fucking best in Stars, you know. And then she was friends with Peyton, which, like I said, I thought it was kind of funny to see. Because here's the thing, though. I'm not saying like, oh, they had good chemistry. It's just like it looked like she was interacting with Peyton unlike everybody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody else seemed to have like like everyone else just kind of sat there like the fucking news reporter with the camera. What a useless cunt. Fuck her. Okay. The thing is that like
Why
Jill
is she
actually
there?
Yeah, why is she there other to get just fucked up by school students?
I would have preferred, like, two characters. Or I would prefer two characters that are really well developed over a group of 5 characters that are not developed at all.
Well, that's the thing. Like Jill and Peyton were at least like, oh, okay, so she knows him. They're both Stars members. That's
Yeah.
the only reason why I kind of
Like, I guess it's cool to see them interact with each other. Like, we get that they have history, but we don't
really know.
again, we're only told that they have history. We're not really, like, we don't know anything about them personality wise, other than the fact that Jill is a bitch.
Yeah.
They just it's like
Well, they
it's like
expect
the
you to
movie,
go off the game. Like, oh, well, you don't need to know because
but it's like the movie is basically saying, "Hey, these two are friends," and I'm like, okay.
and she's
anything
not really
else?
gonna.
Anything
yeah,
else
she's
about
not-
them? Nope, they're just friends. Okay, why should I care?
And she's not really gonna be in. She's not gonna be talking to anybody else throughout the whole film. You know what I mean? Because she's there just to be there. Because when Carlos comes in, obviously him and Alice are having kind of like starting to have chemistry. When Carlos is supposed to talk with Jill, but it's a completely different
Yeah.
story. And then Nikolai,
He's a good guy
he's a good guy.
for like
Who is
3
he?
seconds.
He should have just been Mikhail. He should have been Mikhail, not fucking Nikolai. You know?
You know, it's a missed opportunity. I mean,
I got this bitch, and then he fucking
save the girl. I got this bitch. And it's like, why are you here? You can't
Like,
like break its neck or
you don't
something. I
even
mean,
look
Jill
like
could like
Nikolai.
break its neck by kicking it in the last movie. You can't fucking. You're like a tactically trained SWAT guy. You can't fucking snap its neck.
He's like a Russian guy, and it doesn't even look like Nikolai.
No. Carlos
But-
doesn't look like Carlos. He doesn't sound like Carlos.
He's not fucking. He's not fucking like He's not even like. He doesn't even have the same fucking like. I guess, attitude, I guess, or personality. Like,
No.
he's just kind of like, all right, so here we are. What are we going to do? And we're sent in from, like, that's the only thing he says. Oh, yeah, we're just sent in. And, like, the only thing that they try to do, I guess, which resembles 3, is that, like, Alice doesn't trust him because he's an Umbrella. Like, or Alice, like, you know, she's not too fond of Umbrella. So
Yeah.
she's like, oh, like, that's like and Jill was kind of like that. Like, oh, well, you're Umbrella. Like, you're the reason why this thing began. That's it. But even then, the characters, it's mixed matched. It's not the same. You know? So they did their own thing again with this film. And, like, you know, and then LJ, I can't forget about him. You know, he kind of, I guess...
He was one of the highlights because he was
he was funny, yeah.
That's it. Like, he was funny. We like...
GTA, motherfucker! And it's like, 10
I see
points!
you, motherfucker! Ah!
Yeah.
Like, the zombie comes in...
Motherfucker, please, my shit's custom. And he has, like, the gold fucking, like...
It's like,
where the fuck did he get these? Like,
how long have you been infected? 3 hours. Shit. Why don't you tell me? Hanging around with me and shit.
yeah. You know, why don't you tell me I'm hanging with you and shit? Yeah, like, that was fucking funny. Yeah, like, they have, you know, they added some of their own stuff. He was the character that, like, I didn't want to see, like, die. Just because he was, like...
He was just, like, so... just funny in a dumb way.
Mike Epps, right, does him? He's, like, a comedian, I believe.
Okay.
And, he's, like, a comedian, and, he does, I forgot what else he did. I don't know what movies he did. But, like, yeah, so they had him in there. And, like, yeah, like I said, his interaction was just, like, he was just, like, fuck all these people. Like, this is dumb. You know, like... I'm just kind of like a city guy, like, fuck all them. But then, you know, obviously when you saw him in Extinction, he's come to grow with the, like, apocalyptic, like, you know, world. And, you know, is friends with best friends with, like, Carlos and stuff. But yeah, so characters like that are cool. Like we said, the news reporter, fuck her. Why is she even there? Rather than to record this.
Nobody...
Like, oh, if we ever make it out alive, like...
Nobody
what?
ever remembers her. Nobody would ever mention her in any sequel.
And then that fucking guy on the fucking wheelchair. My daughter. I'm not going at... Why did you even have him say that?
My daughter. I've got to find her.
They don't even have... My daughter. I gotta find her. Yeah. And then the fucking... Yeah.
It's supposed to be a dog house, but there's no dog.
And then you just see the dog jumping. Yeah. But no, why did they have... I forget the guy's name. It's like Dario or something in the game.
Who?
The fucking, you know, the fat guy was like, my
that's
daughter's
not
out
the
there.
same guy.
I know, that's not the same guy, but I'm saying, why did they have that guy say, like, I'm not, you know, like, why did they try to, like, resemble that? You know what I mean?
I
think
that might have been a coincidence. I have no idea what Paul Anderson was thinking. But
what was he thinking? That's just the question.
Like, the guy's last name is Ashford. Why did you change the Ashfords and make them good guys? It's like,
I was like, oh, well, that's a last name. Let's just fucking use it. Why not?
Angela Ashford, who's not even a character from the games, and the father, whose name I don't even remember, some British dick.
Yeah, just some... I'm not going anywhere without my daughter. And he's, like, fucking going up to the door. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what did they do? And then he goes into that, like, camp with, like, the Umbrella soldiers. And then that guy, you know, the guy on... I don't even know the guy's name. You know, the guy on the microphone. Yeah, like, the main, like, bad guy.
I look elegant with this microphone. I'm a bad guy.
Yes, I'm important. I can lean over computers and say, all right, increase this nemesis.
I can lean over computers and give orders. I am a bad guy.
I'm the bad guy. Like, we don't even know his name. We just know that he's one of Umbrella's, like...
What are you talking about? He's so captivating.
Yeah,
he's
right?
He's like more interesting than the Joker.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean,
he's more interesting than Bane.
He blows Bane out of the water completely.
Yeah.
No, but, yeah, so he's just some techno dick with a fucking microphone. And then you got, like, you know, him on the, they kind of keep that guy under surveillance, I guess. the fucking guy in the wheelchair, and then the guy in the wheelchair ends up like helping the survivors by accessing like the cameras and the streets or something.
It's like for no reason, like this bad guy doesn't want them to get rescued. It's like,
yeah, like
why
why them, like, or at Alice, like. But even then, nobody really like I don't even think this guy knows how important Alice is going to be, or they try to make her to be. Like, I don't even know because then he tries to get Nemesis to fucking kill her, and then that and then that happens, and then that fight was like weird because it was like a fist fight, and I'm just like, Nemesis doesn't just sit there and punch like fucking Rocky, like he charges you. He doesn't like sit there like hands up. Let's fucking do this. Like
he grabs a fucking pole and uses it as a sword.
Yeah, that I thought looked so dumb. I was just like, what the fuck?
You could have done it so well. You could have made
why not
Nemesis
his tentacles?
So fucking good.
Tentacles could have been cool. Like, you know how he does the tentacle whip and shit, like in the clock tower fight?
It would have been like, if they did go with a
Hell,
cat
they
and
can do Type 2.
If they did go with like a cat and mouse thing, it would have been like really cool. Because like the more he gets damaged, the more like he loses his intelligence and he becomes more like he becomes more based on instinct. It's like he would have been fucking scary in a movie.
Oh yeah, I mean they could. I agree. They could have like done something with Type 2 Nemesis.
Type 3 Nemesis.
Type 3 Nemesis. I mean...
You want stars? I'll give you stars.
Yeah. But... I don't know why that was so fucking funny.
Want stars?
I'll give you stars. And he grabs Magnum.
Stars. Kill the monster, run away.
And I actually fucking... By the way, I beat Resident Evil 3. Fastest time to date. I got an hour and like 50 minutes... and like 15 seconds and got an S rank. Fucking crazy. I don't even know how I did it, but I did it the other day. And I was like, oh my god. And I took a picture of it and I put it on Twitter. But that's beside the point.
Wait,
Barry? Barry? You're not Barry. You saw the video I put on YouTube, right? The fucking...
Yeah.
Do it to it thing. I just thought that was hilarious because they were getting so pissed off at the clock tower fight. They're like, all right, fuck this. Now they couldn't skip the cutscene for some reason, so they had to keep watching it.
That cutscene is unskippable.
Yeah, so they couldn't skip the cutscene, so they were like, all right, fuck it. You're gonna play the sound effects. You're gonna play Jill, and you're just like, and so they just got so pissed off that just did that, and like, I don't know why it was so funny, but no. They could have done it a lot better, but they just kind of like put him in there because he was in the games, and then like I guess Nemesis recognizes Alice because it's Matt inside, and then he turns against the soldiers and shoots them. Yeah, he shoots them with the Gatling gun, right? I think he grabs it.
Again, like why should I care?
Yeah,
I don't care about Matt.
And then they drop the techno dick off, and then he gets eaten.
Like, killing me won't solve all this. It's a start. And then, like, three sequels later, it did nothing.
It's a start. Like, that guy was literally there to just look important. Like, that's all he was in reality. He was there just to be like, yeah, like, I'm an umbrella, like, suck it. And then it's like, whoa, look at this fucking guy. He does shit. Literally, he's just there to just be a dickhead, you know? Mm-hmm. And then, what happened to the fucking daughter? What happened?
Shit.
Gone.
In one of the books, she gets shot in the head. I'm not joking. That's how they, like in the Extinction book or something, they shoot her in the head.
But that's never explained.
No, the movies just expect you to forget her.
Like that here's like I get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying, like, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? Like they did her away, she's gone. But if they do the same thing with fucking Chris and Claire, because they weren't in the last film, what the fuck happened to them? They didn't die. Don't give me that shit. don't bring them into the movie and just kill them off. They didn't fucking die. So when they did away with her, I mean, not that I care about the fucking daughter, but still, if you're gonna make a new storyline, try to make it somewhat consistent.
That's just really, really bad writing.
I was about to say.
I mean,
like, that's just like, oh wait, you know about the daughter? What about her? Are we gonna put her in Extinction? Nah, we're putting in Claire. We're putting in this chick named Kmart. We can't have all this.
Kmart. You could have just had Angela.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Exactly.
they at least,
it's terrible writing, terrible.
yeah, she was like
filmmaking.
14 years old, so like, you know, they're probably, I don't know how old Angela was, but I mean, they're probably the same age, and like, which means it's not like they could do something so different. Kmart didn't do anything, and she didn't do anything in fucking Afterlife when they saved
Anthony.
her.
She passed Alice the gun
Oh my god.
in slow-mo.
Jesus. In slow-mo. Well, that was Afterlife. In Extinction,
In Extinction,
she just kind of like,
she
she got a crow in the face, which is kind of funny.
she looked there. She sat and looked.
She just kind of looked cute. That was about it.
How old was Kmart?
I think she was like, well, she's claimed to be 14, but the actress was like 17, 18, I think at the time.
Chicka Bow Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, but still, well, back on Apocalypse, yeah, so that was like that, the helicopter crashing and stuff like that. Alice gets stabbed, and then she wakes up, and
She never mentions Matt in any of the sequels.
yeah, it's just like, that's just a lost memory. And
She
then
just
they all
forgets about him and moves on to Carlos.
open it just like, my name is Alice.
My name is Alice.
I worked for the Umbrella Corporation, which worked on blah 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 blah, 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 blah for like the 10th time. And I don't know, like, so how did Apocalypse end though? The helicopter crash, she gets stabbed by the piece of like metal in slow motion. Then they land.
Then they crash.
And then
Then it
Alice,
says that
then she's in the car, right? And they're in the car.
Then Umbrella takes her from the crash,
Oh, yeah, they take her from the crash.
and then she kills a guy with her mind powers, and then they just say let her go.
Yeah.
And then they let her go into the car.
And then they like ask him like, what did they do to you? And then her eyes like flash with the umbrella thing, the little umbrella symbol, which whatever. So they cloned her, I guess, or like they
gave her mind
They
powers.
gave her like mind powers and rescued her that way. And then Jill's gone. Ooh, in the next film. So we'll segue into, well, what did you think of Apocalypse though, overall? Like now, since we summed up everything.
Mindless.
Because we're gonna do our current, like, you know, opinions like we did in the first one. We just think it's just kind of there. This is just kind of there too. They're all kind of there.
This is just stupid. It's mindless, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun to make fun of with your friends and just be like,
Yeah,
oh, look what they
it's
did here.
just one of those movies where it's like, you know,
And nostalgia too, and you know,
yeah,
justifiably so, because you know they just, like I said, it just came from a certain time period, you know. So yeah, but moving on to Extinction, this is going. And by the way, that film had a really cool soundtrack, Apocalypse. It had Slipknot. It had Killswitch Engage.
didn't it have Rise Against?
Think so. And I like Rise Against.
Had Perfect Circle.
Perfect Circle had the Apocalypse remix of The Outsider, which they used in the Afterlife trailer. Yeah,
They used that in the actual movie.
they used it in the movie. Yeah, they used that when they were fucking fighting Wesker. But they also used it in the trailer though, and which is done by Renholder. And yeah, it had a really cool soundtrack. Because I remember Killswitch Engage had a song on Freddy vs. Jason. It's called Darkness Falls, or When Darkness Falls, and then they had End of Heartache, which is how I actually found them out. So that movie kind of, you know, good metalcore band. But anyway, moving on to Extinction. This was September 2007, and so we had to wait 3 years for this one, and this time they were introducing not Chris, but randomly Claire Redfield.
Yeah.
And there's no Jill. No Jill.
No Jill. Jill
Don't
was
explain
busy
where she
doing
went.
a dragon movie.
Yeah, but they didn't explain her whatsoever. Just like they didn't explain Angela. Gone.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's extinct. They're in the desert, and resources are low. People are struggling to survive. The zombies are decaying. Alice is rogue now. She's by herself. She's kind of like she's just kind of like, what is her goal? And like you know, in the beginning when she like goes to she tries to get like fed to the dogs and shit. Like
Yeah.
when she's by herself, like I forget. I'm honestly asking you, like, what was her goal when she was just by herself? Like, was she just like moving along in the desert?
In general, or when she went into the house?
Like, no, like in general. Like, what was her goal? Like,
just
like,
to survive.
Just to survive, because
Yeah.
like she was gone from the group. They said they just quote unquote separated, and then you know what I mean. And then that was it. And then I'm just thinking like, well, then what is she trying to do? Trying to find, you know, Wesker, which we see like the fucking actor who played him in that movie just sat there, but. Yeah, so then whatever. And then she eventually she uses her powers again to kill a bunch of crows, which they implemented in this one. But yeah, so let's go back to the beginning when we saw this film. Why don't you give your experience first? Because this is the first one you saw in theaters, so this was different for you.
Yeah,
Because you haven't seen any of them in theaters at this point, so...
No. I went to, it was like a friend's birthday party, and so I went over to his place, and he had like 2 different TVs in the same room,
Yeah.
and one TV was Resident Evil 4 on the PlayStation 2, and the other TV was Resident Evil 4 on the Wii.
Oh, wow.
So we're just fucking playing Resident Evil 4, talking about Resident Evil. We're gonna see a Resident Evil movie, basically Resident Evil Day, but before we saw the movie, we actually went paintballing, and
Okay.
that was interesting. Haven't done it since. Probably never will. But it was fun. I remember right before we went paintballing, I think it was the room where we bought our like some kind of ticket to do it or something, or maybe we were like paying for masks, or I don't know what we were doing. But we were in a room and there were like arcade machines, and one of them had a Resident Evil game. I don't remember what the game was, but it was like this. It was Resident Evil. It was this big arcade box. On the front of it, there was a sticker of a tyrant. I remember that, and I knew that the tyrant was going to be in extinction. And I had also seen some videos. Like, I didn't really know who the game characters were at this point, because I still hadn't played the games, and everybody on YouTube kept saying, "Oh my god, Wesker's going to be in this movie." I'm like, who the fuck is Wesker? It's got to be someone special. Got to be someone important. And, you know, we finally do watch the movie. I had a lot of fun with it. My friends tried to act cool, and they tried to say it was boring, but whatever. And they kept saying that Apocalypse was infinitely better. Like, no, it's not.
I thought Extinction was better.
Extinction is my favorite out of the 5 because it just feels like
It was solid. I think it was pretty solid on the scale of what they're on.
Like, it didn't really feel stupid. It felt like it was stupid, but it didn't really feel like goofy or ridiculous.
The idea in the desert was really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was different.
I like the tyrant. I like the bad guy in this movie, actually. Again, he's not, the most developed character, but the actor playing him did a good job.
Better than fucking Techno Dick in the last one.
Who the fuck is Techno Dick? Like, I don't remember him. But I remembered Dr. Isaacs,
Dr. Isaac.
Dr. Isaacs. The White Queen was cool.
Yeah, White Queen, yeah.
On its own, like, not counting the other movies, it didn't really, like, introduce something and not introduce it ever again, I don't think.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, Claire was in there. Ali Larter, which she was in. What did she fucking play in? She played in something.
She was in one of the Kevin Smith movies. She was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
She was in that film, but she was doing a TV show at the time. I don't know, but they put her in there. She went out with some like kid in the fucking just some like average Joe guy with just hair, and he like did the fucking cameras or whatever. I forget his name. I forget his name. But he got eaten by the zombies, and she was like, "No."
Oh yeah. His name was.
I swear I know it.
I know it too. I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck his name. We'll just call him the guy with the hair.
We'll call him Computer Guy.
Yeah, computer and camera guy. Because Carlos was. Remember the scene when like he was in the truck and like he was in the truck and he had the computers and he was like Carlos was out there like setting up the cameras and he was like controlling them. So we'll call him. Yeah, we'll call him computer camera tech guy. But anyway, that was like the only chemist. That was just another kind of like pointless character. But LJ returned as well.
Yeah.
Which was surprising because they could have dealt away with him as well, just like they did the other fucking characters at this rate, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they got rid of him just like they did fucking Jill and Angela. But
Carlos
LJ's
returned.
back. Carlos returned. And they all have a new convoy now. They got a whole different group.
Oh, that one scene where they introduced the convoy.
Oh, that was a juicy one with the fucking spikes on the
And,
tire.
like,
Yeah,
you hear
that was
the
really
music
cool.
playing in the background. That was a great scene.
Yeah, the convoy music. I remember I got some of the soundtracks. That was actually really good. The music's always, it's more on like the
it's usually solid.
Yeah, it's usually solid. Now though, they have it more of a techno, but back then it was more. It was really solid.
I remember in the trailer they played this really awesome song.
Of Extinction?
Yeah, it was like it was Alice in Wonderland or White Rabbit or something. White Rabbit? It was like a rock song called White Rabbit, but it was really good.
Yeah, and they fucking did. I know Tremandy or some like something starts with a T. Did the soundtrack for Afterlife and Retribution and The Strangers.
Oh wow!
The same composer, so kind of cool. But it starts with a T, and I'm fucking up. But Afterlife had some good music. But anyway, yeah, Extinction.
It had cool zombie action.
It had some. Yeah, the zombies were rotting, so they kind of made them look like they were all dried out. Not that when you're a zombie you're decaying, but now they're pretty much like all fucked up.
They were like starving, dried out.
Yeah, they were pretty much starving.
They looked better than the first two movies, like the zombies from the first two movies.
I'm sure the makeup was way more extensive in this one versus any other one.
Because in the first two movies, it felt like they had like white face paint on.
Yeah.
And then in this one, it looked like
they had to focus
actual prosthetics.
They had to focus on that because, and if not, it would have just looked dumb. If you had like a regular standard everyday zombie, just kind of like what's up, and this like extinct hot desert, you know. And the dogs returned.
They do a decent job at setting up the world because, in the first scene or whatever, maybe the second scene,
shows like
these people try to rape Alice. They try to kill her. And it's like, wow, people are really going crazy. I wish it could have dealt a little more on that kind of, with those aspects. Because it felt like it was, being more than what it was. It was being a little better than what the Resident Evil movies usually are. I like all the underground scenes.
Yeah, they were controlling her.
And the board members.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, wow, you guys still have meetings. Okay.
And the guy who played Wesker is just the guy who just sat there. I don't know why they got a different guy to do it.
Yeah, the guy who played Wesker in Extinction was a better actor. Because he talked without forcibly sounding evil. Because, like, in
We're
Extinction,
going to noon. Like in fucking Afterlife.
in Afterlife, he's
the
like,
T cells in your
it's
body.
like, I need your T cells. Like,
They're in your body.
it's fighting me for control. It's like-
But go on.
and then in, like, Extinction, he talks and it sounds natural.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like,
Dr. Isaacs, we expect your report in a month. It's like, okay.
why did they change it?
I don't
though?
know.
I never even knew
I don't
that.
know. It's like he goes from sounding natural to like sounding like Alice. We meet again.
Like, it was cool to just see, like, his glasses and his gelled back, like,
Yeah.
hair. Like, you knew, like, that's him. He's in the dark, but you know he's gonna come in the next film, you know? And then, you know, they had the whole controlling Alice thing in this one, when they, like, shut her down at that one
Oh,
point.
the gore in this movie was also a lot better.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Like there's a
Yeah.
scene where they blow a hole through the zombie's head, or
Oh, yeah, I
Kmart
remember
shoots
that.
him in the head.
Oh, yeah, yeah, in the truck.
Yeah.
When, yeah,
And-
yeah.
You know, like there's a scene where computer guy gets eaten, and there's like blood all over his face.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember, you know what Cameron reminds me of? That fucking Beth in Walking Dead.
Beth.
The blonde hair girl, I think, Herschel's daughter. You know, Maggie's sister, the blonde hair
Oh
girl.
yeah, her.
She kind of, like, doesn't do anything.
She tried to
but-
commit suicide in season 2.
Yeah. Try to slit her, roast, yeah. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched any of that? Or no? Walking Dead?
I've seen
Did you even make...
the first 3 seasons.
You haven't seen the fourth one yet?
I saw the first 2 episodes of season 4.
Yeah, definitely got to grab them because those are really good. Because they just came up again. They just started last week with, you know, we at the mid-season premiere, and then yeah. But yeah, anyway, back on track. Yeah, so they did the better effects. It looked like they were more hands-on with the zombies, like we said.
Yeah.
Everything seemed to be improved, and wasn't this? I don't think Paul directed this one. There was
No.
one where he didn't direct.
He didn't direct this one, and he didn't direct Apocalypse.
Now, as we are filmmakers as well, but we could tell and we observe things a little bit differently. Can you tell a difference?
Yeah,
Personally?
I can tell a difference.
I can.
It feels more, more gritty, I guess. More gritty, more...
Because Extinction is just like... I think it's just...
It
on its own,
just-
it's just a good...
yeah.
It's a pretty good film.
like it... I don't like. It feels like you can watch this movie without being tied down with the others.
Or, like, going back to the games as much.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, well, this isn't...
Like
you
I
know.
can feel like I can watch Extinction and be like, well, it's not like the game, so it sucks. Like I can be like, well, it's a pretty cool action zombie movie.
Yeah, disregarding the games.
It-
If you're going to compare it to the games the whole time, you're just
Yeah.
not going to enjoy
It pays
Yeah.
homage to Day of the Dead.
Oh yeah, with the getting the zombies
Yeah.
to try. No, that's the thing we forgot to mention. Yeah, the getting the zombies to try to communicate and get back with their former selves. With the whole
Yeah.
zombie putting the little blocks in the whatever it was. It was like
Yeah,
the shapes into the
and
you
the,
know, little
the
cube
cell phone and the camera.
and the cell phone.
That zombie
holds it up
makeup
to
looked
his thing.
badass.
Yeah, he was like taking the picture of
Yeah.
them and stuff. Like,
He had like,
but then once they
gloves
get
on.
yeah, they never really like touched on that
didn't.
like ever again. It was just kind of like it was attempted, and this guy kind of reminded me. I mean, I'm saying this now. He kind of reminded me of like I don't know. He kind of reminded me of the governor a little bit, just because he was trying to like. He was kind of like a Two-Face. Like he was doing something. He was trying to do something good. Yet he was supporting something bad and trying to do things for his own personal gain.
Okay.
Kind of like that. So he kind of reminded me of that, and the governor from Walking Dead, if you guys don't know who I'm talking about. You guys are probably, who the fuck's the governor? If you don't know Walking Dead. But looking back, I could be like, he kind of reminds me of that just because he has like kind of like polar opposites where like you know that he could easily be like the good guy, but he ends up fucking turning into the tyrant and just killing his fucking employees, you know what I mean? Like, at first you're like, oh, well, that, they're really trying to do something different, and then he's trying to take control over Alice, so it's just like, he's this good figure on the outside, but he has bad intentions, and then it shows as the movie progresses, he just kind of goes on this straight decline, and then he, keeps injecting himself with the virus in his arms and shit, and he's fucking, like, dying, and then he turns himself into the tyrant. So...
The whole
so that was
scene
cool.
leading up to the fight was pretty cool. Like,
yeah, it was like
she's
Alice,
walking
good
through
luck.
the basement. You can see bodies hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, like he was there.
Yeah, like he was there. Shit's gonna go down. The White Queen.
And then they had this simulation as well from the first movie.
Yeah, they did.
I think. Yeah, we forgot to talk about that. The dummies they were using.
Yeah,
the,
like he
the
basically
clones.
just treated all the
Yeah.
clones like cannon fodder, I guess.
Yeah, like
It
they were trying to locate the main.
They were
like,
trying to get
Alice.
the perfect match, I guess.
Yeah, and obviously the only one was the real Alice from the other films. So it's like, okay,
They wanted
We
her
get what
blood
they're
to
trying
cure
to
them,
do.
I think.
Yeah, they wanted the
Something
blood.
like that.
I think this was the film where she found out that she was the cure for everything. Because remember when she was in the thing, she's like, "I'm the cure for all of this," and when she was talking to the Queen, I think it was, and she was like saying the blood in your body, and then she saw all the clones,
And then they never used it.
Yeah.
In the sequels, they never used it.
Yep. And then you see all the clones in the fucking test tubes and shit. But the Tyrant fight was pretty cool though.
Yeah.
With his tentacles and shit, like, or whatever they were. He doesn't really have tentacles, but
They were like
whatever.
claws that turned into tentacles.
Yeah, they were like claws / tentacles and shit, and she used her powers against him.
Didn't he have telekinesis as well?
Yeah, like,
It's like-
he had something.
This is when it gets a little goofy, but it's
It's the rest of the movie makes up for
yeah,
it.
the rest of the movie makes
Yeah.
up for it.
And
Claire Redfield. What did you think of Claire
Mm.
Redfield in this movie?
Claire was just like, she wasn't Claire. Claire's not some like badass like, oh yeah, Claire's just kind of like the sweetheart.
She's like just your
the-
average girl who's a
just your
sweetheart.
average girl who, yeah. And I get it. Oh well, this was way into the apocalypse. People would change, yeah, but the personality, like same with Jill, like the personality just wasn't there. And for this, the same thing. She was just there to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really resemble Claire either.
Very true.
At least Jill had like some resemblance. She had a short hair. She had the outfit.
Yeah, she
but,
had like.
you could look at her and be
70%
like,
outfit. You could be like,
"That's Jill." Yeah,
You look at the Claire in this movie, you're like, that's Claire.
that could easily be a girl named fucking like
Ali Larder.
I don't know. Yeah, just Allie.
call her
Yeah,
Allie
it is
Larder.
Allie Larder. Just call her Allie. Yeah, just call her Allie by her actual name, and then that'll be it. But it could just be any girl named fucking like, I don't know, Michelle, or it could be anybody at this rate as a character, And then LJ dies, I know that, and Carlos dies in this film.
I thought those
That was
were cool.
a really cool death scene.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Carlos with the fucking trucker thing. Fucking has to say his goodbyes, and then he just fucking goes on a suicide attempt, just ramming through all the zombies. Flips over. LJ, you sneaky son of a bitch, fucking gets the cigarette, lights
Reminds
it.
me of Dom's death, but not as tragic.
Yeah, not as tragic. Yeah, not as tragic because, I mean, fucking Dom, man. But anyway, yeah, he takes a hit of the cigarette. The camera pans out. It was a really well done scene, for what it is. Like I said,
Like the way the camera work is, and like just the way
Yeah.
everything looks in that movie, much better than anything Paul Anderson could come up with.
Remember that the scene where they're in Vegas and the fucking cowboy guys, fucking climbing like the Eiffel Tower is like
Yeah.
fucking climbing the Eiffel Tower. Like I'm just thinking like to myself, they really just like are just doing like this guy he's gonna die and he falls down, just slams his fucking head.
I remember in the theater, everybody went ooh at that part, like they felt it.
Yeah, and I think it was the scene when they found Kmart. It's like, oh, like why do they call you that? I was like, oh, that's where they found me. I remember everybody just started laughing, like that's where they found me.
Like, I remember I told that to my friend, and he's like, so if they found her at Home Depot, would they call her Home Depot?
Yeah,
So
right.
would they
Like
call
they were
her
just Kmart,
Canadian Tire
Depot?
or Walmart,
Yeah,
Zellers,
call her McDonald's,
EB
like,
Games,
EB Games. Yeah, right. Fucking
Blockbuster,
Subway, Best Buy,
Pizza.
Blockbuster Video. Like, no, but yeah. So
Apple
and then
Store.
even her, yeah, the Apple Store.
The Apple Store.
But yeah. So Extinction overall, even watching it now, it's pretty enjoyable. You know, it still has plot holes, but all the movies have plot holes. At this rate, even into the third film, there's so many plot holes. So
they're not as noticeable.
they're not as noticeable, but you know they're there.
I feel like
Because
people.
I wanted to see fucking Jill.
I always see people saying that this one sucks because she has telekinesis. I'm like, well, but on a like actual film level, this movie's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
it's like, oh, she has powers. This movie sucks. It's the worst one. It's like, no, you're an idiot.
She has powers in the next one, so they must think the other ones like suck dick as well.
But they're like, the first one was the only good one. It's like, no, the first one was pretty bad. It's like,
Yeah, it's like this one.
This
was
one-
our favorite.
this one is like a good zombie movie, and it's like, nope, because
This
because
is
she has
actually-
powers, it's a bad movie.
Now, you could probably agree with me on this. This is the last film that the zombies are really important because they don't make them involved in anything in the next few ones. They don't.
Yeah,
They really don't. This is the last time where we actually see them as a threat. And I mean, they appear really briefly in Afterlife and Retribution, but they literally just are dropping it. They're making it less and less implemented in the films every year we get them. So this is the last one where you can kind of be like, oh, this is a zombie film. It is, and it's good, but you're not going to see them as much ever again. You know, you're not going to get a whole crate full of zombies. You're not going to get that. You're just going to get CG zombies and
you're gonna get
one-dimensional
you're
parasites.
gonna get
Like, why do they have
parasite zombies that, with no explanation of
infected
why
with-
they're parasites.
There's no Ouroboros.
Like, you expect me to
There's no way
believe
that's there.
you expect me to believe that one of the zombies from Extinction would eventually develop a parasite?
Which isn't Ouroboros
Why?
or Las Plagas.
And then they like bring in Las Plagas in the fifth movie. Finally.
Yeah, but even so, it still does. You know, at that rate, it's like not.
Doesn't
It's not even
matter.
fucking. Yeah, but then that's Extinction. You know that it was like pretty cool. Now we go back to Afterlife in 2010, which was a very nostalgic year for myself, with my YouTube channel. Me being friends with Richard, which was summer going into fall, which is when this came out.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
Shattered
can't forget
Dimensions.
Spider-Man, Shattered Dimensions, and
Dead Rising 2.
Dead Rising 2. The very
Halo Reach.
nostalgic time. Halo Reach, can't forget about Halo. That came out September 14th, 2010. And then Dead Rising came out later that month, I believe. But yeah, so very nostalgic year. But in the very beginning, we get Afterlife, and wow, you know, Paul's directing again, and opens up with her clones fucking everything up.
they
Uh,
they throw out the clones so fast.
Yeah, they were just like,
the
fuck
third
this.
movie makes you wait 3 years. It's like, okay, they're gonna have some kind of like epic Clone War thing.
Is that any way to treat a lady? It's fucking
Oh,
like
God, it's so bad.
exactly
It's so
like what
bad.
the fuck? And then, like, they don't, they just all blow up. And then Wesker is just there. And he just, like, fucking, he's just like, oh, here she comes. And then this fucking, shoots the guy, pulls out his double pistols, which just looks so good on
His
Wesker.
double magnums.
Like, double eagles or whatever. Shoots, misses terribly.
She obliterates everybody around Wesker when she's falling down, except Wesker.
Except Wesker himself.
It's like,
And then he ejects her. What does he do? He takes away her powers. That's what it does. So it fucks up her powers because she's immune and she's the cure. But it fucks up. He like injects her and it fucks up her powers. So she's weak. Mm-hmm. And then the fucking thing lands, and then she's on like a fucking plane somehow. And then she finds Claire, which has a chip on her chest, which isn't supposed to be on her fucking chest, which like was only implemented for one character in one game has no reminiscence to the game whatsoever. This film.
I remember that they gave her the RE5 thing.
Yeah, yes they gave Jill it, but at the same time RE5 has nothing to do with that. You didn't have to make Claire bad.
Claire was covered she's only bad for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, like they captured her apparently at a beach or something, and I
can't remember who I am.
Yeah, like
my personality from the last movie is gone in this one.
Yeah, like she's completely like different, and I could blame the directing on that.
She's covered in mud, and then the next morning she looks like a fucking supermodel.
Yeah, she looks like she took a shower, freshened up,
She looks like she had time to
look at this, freshen up. Yeah, it's like, look at this. Do my hair, shampoo it, conditioner. But, no, and then Chris is like a fucking mechanic, whatever the fuck he is. But anyway.
Yeah, he was like a jail mechanic or something.
Yeah, it was like, I know it.
I know the armory and the jail.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? And it looks nothing like Chris, fucking Wentworth Miller. Why him? Why him?
I don't know.
Doesn't act like Chris, doesn't talk like Chris. Polar opposites.
Apparently they showed him Chris gameplay. It's like, this is who you're playing. And then he, went off of that. I guess.
What the fuck?
He was like Batman, really.
He was just like...
Boom. He's like, you're gonna need me!
Yeah, you're gonna need me! I'm just like, who the fuck is this?
It's like, what are the odds that he would bump into his sister?
Can you imagine, Chris, in a fucking, jail,
he's in a jail in some Los Angeles prison in the middle of the city, and there's his sister.
And he's
Where were you in the last movie?
And it's like, you're gonna need me!
You're gonna need me!
Doesn't even explain how they got separated. Doesn't explain when's the last time they saw each other. It's like, it's me, Chris.
Your brother. And that's it. We don't get any we don't get any flashbacks of
I'm your brother because my last name's Redfield.
I'm your brother. The script says so.
They wrote it down on paper. I'm your fucking brother. I know it.
I'm your doctor.
Yeah, I'm her doctor. You're her mother, but I don't give a shit. I'm her doctor. But no, fucking Dr. Cruz. Anyway.
Friday the 13th, part 7.
Yeah, part 7. That's me and Richard's little insider. But, no, so they have a whole group of survivors now in a prison.
They have a cook. That's the only thing we know about her. She's a cook.
She's a cook, and
the cook.
You don't care for these fucking people. You don't care.
The cook was hot.
Yeah,
she was really hot.
She was really nice looking, but doesn't do anything for the film.
Claire was really hot. And these guy characters are attractive. I know girls who think that the Wesker guy was hot. It's like, these people are just... They're hot, and that's the only reason why we care about them.
You're looking at my beautiful gelled back hair.
You're looking at my jawline.
Well, my mouth stays shut and my teeth are like this.
Wesker, look at my boobs.
And then it's like, you
That
know,
entire shower room scene is just like glorifying the attractiveness of the girls.
let's not forget about the random placed executioner.
It's like,
well, he was in
why are you
5,
here?
so let's just put him in here. It's like a big axe guy that was just, let's just put him
Why
here.
didn't they put in the regenerators if they're just gonna throw in like random shit?
Yeah, you might as well throw in fucking the Hunters.
The Hunters, regenerators,
the Chimeras.
Ustanok. Next movie, I'm calling it.
Ustanok. Yeah, Richard called that,
Yep.
so I guarantee they're gonna do that.
Ustanok.
And
Suck my Ustanok.
and I forgot about that. No, yeah. So random place executioner, random characters. Alice finds these group of people and tries to get the Arcadia thing, which is like, oh, we supply food and shelter, and then that goes nowhere. She's shooting coins out of her hydras.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember, or one of the cheesiest lines in that movie is when she finds Wesker. And Wesker's like talking about how he's gonna eat her, and then Alice is like, "Only one thing, I'm not on the menu."
Oh my
She
god!
kicks the knife.
Oh my god! That was bad. But yeah, the fun. This is a thing. Okay, no, this.
Teleporting.
Yeah, like
For
this is
no
the thing,
reason.
though.
It's like
This is
people
the
who don't
thing.
play the game aren't even like they're watching the movie. It's like, so this guy can teleport.
Yeah, they're just like, so this guy can do this. He's
It's
capable
like,
of this.
He can dodge every bullet, but he gets stabbed in the forehead.
Yeah, what do you know? And he has a parasite, by the way. Wesker has
I
a
was
parasite.
so mad when I saw that.
I know. I was like, "What the fuck?"
like, why?
And then Chris and Claire shoot him gangster style, like,
Yeah.
just like right in front of him, like fucking Boondock Saints. Like, I thought they were gonna say the Boondock Saints line, like, "From shepherds we shall be, for thee, my lord." Like fucking, I don't know if you ever saw that movie,
Oh.
but good movie. But I thought fucking Norman Reedus and the other guy were gonna come out and be like, "Oh, we're gonna say this Boondock Saints line." I was just like, what a way to kill Wesker off.
They
And,
trap Chris in like bulletproof glass, and the bullets don't ricochet when he shoots them.
That's what I'm saying. I was just about to bring that up before we talked about Wesker teleporting. I was just going to say he fucking shoots
Yeah.
it and it just doesn't go. I'm just like, you would be fucking dead. You just shot it. What would you think that would do? Like, yeah, I'm just going to stand back. I'm going to shoot this thing. Like, what the fuck? He's just like, hey,
He's like,
boosh.
Claire!
Nothing happens. Yeah, Claire,
Claire!
I'm about to kill myself. Just shoot this fucking thing. And then they get rescued, like, literally, like, 5 minutes later, so it's just, like, nothing happened. And then Kmart gets rescued, like, we give a fuck about her.
Kmart is in the battle now. Why?
You don't have Jill in the whole fucking movie, but you can put Kmart on the screen.
Yeah.
Somebody you didn't even explain why they left or she got separated. It's just like, she comes in at the end credits, which I missed.
I
I had
remember
to
that.
look it
I
up
remember
on YouTube that night.
that night we were in the Xbox party, and
Yeah.
Brandon was in there too, and
We all saw it together. Me, Brandon, Kyle, and Ben, we saw it together, my
I
friends.
saw it with my friend Hal, and like we just thought it was the dumbest shit in the world. Like the scene where Alice is shooting her magnums, Talon whispers to my ear, "A magnum can only hold 6 to 8 shots," and we're like counting her shoot like 23.
She's fucking Project Alice. She gives no
But it's
fucks.
like- but I remember that we were in the party, and you and Brandon were like, "Did you see the ending?" I'm like, "Oh, you meant the one with Jill?" "Yeah." "What did she say?" "We missed it."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, she just said things. I don't know. She was
Yeah,
just there.
she really just said, like, oh, we have to deploy that. We have to deploy.
Like, this
and,
is going to be like the greatest fight of your life.
Yeah. What great fight were they looking for? They literally got off the fight. Like, what the hell even happened?
It's like, I remember.
And she has a chip on her chest as well,
Yeah.
which is the only person who should have had it on their
It's
chest.
like a robot
Like, really?
crab. It's not even like in her
Yeah,
chest.
it's not in her chest like in RE5 when you had to rip it out. It was like a bug,
Uh-huh.
in the movies. Like, what the hell?
I remember Talon was like, "Hey Richard, how much do you want to bet that one of the guys in the helicopter is Hunk?" I'm like, "Oh no, no."
At this rate, they might as well just throw Hunk in there just for shits and giggles.
Hmm.
Make him look like he did in the RE3 epilogue, which is when you actually first saw his face.
Yeah.
Try to make him look like that, but then they would actually make him look just like. Well, it doesn't. At that point, it wouldn't matter because whatever. But anyway, yeah. So Afterlife, I have nostalgia with that movie.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot of nothing going on.
It's better than the first two movies.
But it's not as solid as the third, and the directing is just
It's
like what?
Not as good as the third movie. I don't know. It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really
beautiful.
Nice. The 3D was also as good as well. I saw these two in 3D, these last two.
I remember the effects looked so bad though, like not the effect, the physical effects, because they had to, they had to do it in 3D, so they had to actually hit their actors. And there was a scene on YouTube where like Wesker throws his shades and he like elbows Chris away when he like grabs Claire.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he, like, if you pay attention to Chris's expression, like, when he elbows Chris, it looks so fake, but Chris, like, he looks like he just flies backwards like a raptor. It was the funniest shit.
It's like, this is like the game. We took the same... It's the only thing you have that's that close. It's like the closest thing you've gotten, right? You fucks.
Mm-hmm.
But...
No fucks were given.
Yeah. And, yeah, that's Afterlife. I remember I did my review on this channel. It's still up.
Same.
And, yeah, same with Richard. And it was, my opinion still stands. All my reviews, my opinion still stand. I'll probably re-review the first three because I was younger when I did the first three, but who knows. And, Afterlife was Afterlife, and, it was still, I liked it better than Retribution, which will segue into Retribution.
The worst one.
Probably the worst one. Came out 2013, no, 12. So, 2-year gap, shorter gap between movies. This one will probably have the longest one than this one they're working on now. Apparently it's coming out next year. So Retribution, fucking Alice is... What is she even doing again?
She got captured. I love how we're struggling to remember what happened. It's like she got captured after the boat fight. So it's like there goes Arcadia.
There is Arcadia, and also, by the way, Chris and Claire are nowhere to be found.
No,
and their
Chris,
fates aren't even talked.
no
So
Claire.
more of that, more of character disappearing. I love that. What's going to happen next film? Is Alice just going to be
They're
gone?
gonna forget
Like,
Wesker. It's like, do we have that guy?
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're teaming up now. What? But anyway,
she's naked.
so she's again,
which is nice.
yeah.
She's in a white prison, and then like the door opens up, and she gets her weapons and gear, and then
And she goes through simulations.
then she goes through simulations and kills zombies, and then then meanwhile Leon is with Barry, and they're trying to get her and bring her to Wesker, and
now they have.
and that's basically
Barry.
the whole movie.
Yeah, now they have Barry and Leon late to the party, right?
Mhm.
And Leon just looks nothing like Leon. They gave him the coat, and that's about it. And Barry's just the guy with a fucking beard.
Barry
does.
Fun fact: the guy who played Barry played the Blob from X-Men Origins. You just call me Blob.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. But yeah. So they're just kind of there again to be there.
Mhm.
They implemented the fucking chainsaw guy, which Leon doesn't even care when his fucking teammates die.
Later in the movie, he's like, "I lost enough friends today," and he showed no emotion.
No emotion when they died.
His friend
Like,
got chainsawed in front of him.
I lost a lot of my friends. Feel sorry for me, God damn it! Feel sorry for me.
Sympathize with the Leon.
Oh my god.
Um,
But yeah, so they're kind of there. The film did look great, but the characters were just kind of there to be there. And the fucking gun flip from Barry, I still hate that
oh my
fucking
God,
scene.
dude.
I hate Barry's death.
They just felt like killing Barry off.
And he flips up his gun and oh my god.
He kills one. It's like, well, there's like 2 pointless deaths in one scene.
Yeah, and it's again with the fucking slow-mo. We forgot to mention it, but these past 2
and then
films
the
love
reverse
slow
slow-mo.
motion. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I swear. Fucking, this guy must have liked 300 because that's all this fucking movie's becoming.
Matrix.
And Matrix. Well, Matrix did it for a purpose, though. It's bullet time. This is doing it in parts where it doesn't need to be slow-mo.
Alice is swinging on the rope. Slow-mo that.
Yes, that's slow. I like he said, slow-mo that right there. Yeah, you see that? Yeah,
Just
you see
imagine
80%
like
of
Paul
this
sitting
film?
in the editing chair. It's like, how am I going to do this? Okay, I like this. We're going to slow-mo the rope swing.
Slow-mo that right there. You see how he's on like the cutting room floor? Yeah, you see that? Slow-mo that right
Kmart's
there.
passing Alice the gun. Slow-mo that.
Yeah. Wait, but Paul, like, is that really... No, hey, look. Hey, you want to get fired?
Look,
Slow-mo
I'm the
that.
director. It's my vision. Just slow-mo it.
Trust me on this. This will look fucking
This will be
amazing.
fantastic. Everyone will love
This
it.
will be fucking orgasmic. Look at this fucking... Look at this. Look at this slow-mo. Look at that. Look at my wife in slow-mo,
slow-mo
everybody.
wife.
Look at my fucking wife. Yeah, see, I bang
like
that
it.
every night.
I like the way you think.
I bang this every night. You guys be jelly of this. Come on. But, yeah, so, the characters, again, were just meh. Ada's in this.
Oh, Ada.
Now, does she look like Ada? Yeah.
She sounds
But does
like
she
Ada.
act... She sounds like
Exactly
Ada? Yeah.
like Ada.
But does she give...
I heard that some people think that her lines were just overdubbed by an American actress.
Oh, I remember you told me
Yeah,
about that.
I think.
But does she really act like Ada? No.
No, she's just some chick. I don't know. I mean, she's a spy chick.
Red dress,
She doesn't have any interactions with Leon.
of course.
Oh.
They try to do that knife fight thing. Oh, God.
That looks so fucking gay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck? Like, Extinction didn't try to do anything from the games, and look how that turned out. Pretty okay. But when you try too hard... Oh, and then they brought back Rain and fucking...
Oh yeah, Ray.
One. And Carlos.
The fucking final fight.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna get you. When she punches Alice.
Yeah, fucking...
Oh, and she makes that noise. She's like... I
They're,
was
like,
the only
manly,
one
like,
in the theater laughing. I'm like, is no one else laughing at this?
It's this manly reaction, like,
She's like,
and then Jill's in here, like, you know...
Her suit is completely different than the one in Afterlife.
Yeah, and it doesn't resemble 5 whatsoever, if that's what they're trying to go for.
But, like, you can tell that in Retribution it was more of, like, a leathery suit.
Yeah,
and
it was more leather.
In that credit scene in Afterlife, it was, like, cloth or fabric. So it's like when she jumps out of the helicopter, her suit changes. Changes.
She must have found time to change in that landing.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Her stupid ass fucking like intro where she's like going down the rope with the submachine guns.
Oh my god. That's the thing, like, in slow-mo.
Yeah.
Everything's blowing up in slow-mo. But, that's the thing, though. This fucking film was just not as good as Afterlife or even Extinction, or even Afterlife, in that matter. It just seemed
They
like
completely ripped
rushed
off
it.
Aliens. I fucking love like
with
like,
what
with
exactly?
Ripley and Newt.
Oh,
Like, they
okay.
ripped that off, but like everybody mentions this. There's a giant
Mm-hmm.
fucking liquor that kills everything, but it takes the little girl so that Alice can kill the liquor and rescue the girl from this cocoon.
Yeah.
The same fucking thing happens in Aliens, but in Aliens, they kidnap people for a purpose, and that's to, like, so the parasite can go on their face.
Yeah.
And then the
yeah.
aliens can come out of their chests. They kidnap people, that's how they repopulate.
And so on and so forth. Yeah, it's kind of like a continuous process. Yeah.
But in this movie, the liquor just takes the little girl for no reason.
Just cause.
Just cause.
Just cause.
It's like, you can tell that he ripped it off so bad. So fucking bad. And we're 5 movies in, and we still don't know anything about Alice, or even her last name for that matter.
Very true.
It's like, everybody has a last name except for her.
Yeah, right?
In the book, it's like Abernathy, but fuck that.
Well, it would be whatever. I mean, that guy she was fucking in fucking the first one. She was married to him. Yeah, and that would be her last name, whatever guy. But then she would consider herself single. So
It would
I don't
be
know,
Alice
who
Mack.
cares? Well, fuck it. Just fuck her. Whatever. But the other ones that try to compare to this one, I mean, like, if you try to compare them, this one probably is the worst.
Yeah. It's mostly just stoic expressions and gunfights.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember I was watching this with Jenny, and she's like, they're so stoic. And it's like, they don't feel anything.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't.
They're just kind of there to be there, just like these films. They're just kind of there, and that's why we don't really try to. We try to point out what they try to bring in from the games, but we don't make fair comparisons because, let's face it, guys, we've stopped paying attention to the consistency a long time ago, and these are just there to be there. But yeah, overall opinions on this film, forgettable, more forgettable.
Who is getting retribution?
Wait, what?
Who is getting retribution?
I don't know.
Who is getting punished?
It just sounds cool, Richard. Didn't you know?
Oh.
What does afterlife mean? What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, it sounds cool. Oh.
It sounds cool? Yeah.
Because if I wanted to name my movie, I would not choose a name that actually relates to it. I would choose something cool. Like Resurrection, or
Salvation.
The Return, or The Sequel, or
Just flat out call it the sequel.
The Revenge. Or
Revengeance. Well, that's the thing. At the
generic
end,
names.
Alice and Wesker team up.
They give her back her powers.
And they're at the White House.
It's like they take away her powers, and then one movie later, oh, never mind. You can have. It's like,
Oh, no, it's okay. You know what? You're gonna
there's
need
no
this 'cause we're at the White House.
consequence whatsoever. It's like, well,
yeah.
we could take it and give it back to her, whatever we want. It's like Paul Anderson sitting in his chair, and he does what's called a Deus Ex Machina, where he writes himself in these corners and he can't get out, so he just comes up with something so stupid. It's like, for example, it's like, okay, the main character is getting trapped by a horde of zombies. He doesn't have any guns. How does he get out? Well, he can fly.
He could do this out of nowhere.
Exactly. He can do things out of nowhere.
Just because I can write it. So, fuck
The
it.
guy's a fucking 12-year-old. Like, he doesn't aim for anything higher than what a fucking 10-year-old would write.
I mean, I if they come up with one more, I'll see what they do. But honestly, us real fans, we want to see this rebooted and started from the first game and actually done right. No doubt, and I'm sure all of you listeners out there will agree. At this
You want
rate.
stars? We'll give you stars.
You want stars? Give me stars, Barry.
Very.
But yeah, like I don't know. I mean, it's just who knows what's gonna happen.
You're gonna
next.
need me!
You're gonna need me. And apparently, Mila is filming something else right now that isn't Resident Evil. So I don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Because I follow her on Twitter, and she posted a picture of like blood on like this floor. She's like, "Work's already getting messy." And someone was like, "Resident Evil?" And then other guy was like, "No, dickhead, she's doing another film." And I'm just
I would
like,
have said period.
"Damn." Yeah. Was this you, Mila? Like,
Did you make that mess?
Did you make that mess? Like, something about tampons, but whatever. But I think that they just, I don't know, they're going to do one more apparently, and that's it. So I hope to get rebooted.
They might do two more. Holy shit, she has a lot of followers.
Yeah, she does.
1.3 million. I didn't realize she was that famous.
Oh yeah, she's especially she was in The Fifth Element, which that's kind of like how she got, big. But
it's like she's just.
I want to see what she's doing right now.
1.3 million. Wow. I'm trying to find the bloody one.
Yeah, like there was like, she said something.
Some picture
like
of a dinosaur.
It's just like a picture of like blood on the floor. She said she had some like caption of it.
I will do work. No, messy. Oh.
Apparently, they're just calling the next film Resident Evil 6, and she's doing a film called Survivor in 2015, and Cymberline. She's playing a queen. And she was nominated for a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actress for Retribution.
Well, she is.
But then in Afterlife, she was a Screen Award for Best Science Fiction Actress for Afterlife. So you kind of see the drop off.
It depends on who's giving the awards.
Yeah.
What else did she win? You can usually tell how good an actress is by looking at.
Oh wait, dude. New news broke out. In February 2014, Paul Anderson gave an update. As per Collider, Anderson says that there are no immediate plans in motion for a sixth installment in the popular franchise, but yet both he and Screen Gems are eager to add at least one more entry to the series, stating, "We'd like to do another Resident Evil movie," he said, "but the wheels aren't quite in motion yet."
So they're not even working on it.
They're not even working on it.
It's been almost 2 years.
So they said they at least want to squeeze out one more, but it's not in motion yet, so who knows?
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can't really be mad, though. It's not like we're waiting for these films. They just kind of come out, and we kind of just see them because we're fans that just want to see something funny and just
Well, I just want them to, release it so we can get a reboot already.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure you guys can agree. Tell us down below in the comments, what is your experience with these films, and do you agree with us, and would you like to see these rebooted? We want to hear from you guys, all of you who are listening, because these podcasts actually do well, unlike other things on YouTube. But anyway.
She got a Razzie for Fifth Element, or she was nominated for a Razzie for Fifth Element. I don't know. It depends. You can usually tell how good an actress is by looking at the awards they've gotten, but it's not always true.
Yeah, I don't think it's not always true.
But it really does depend, on who gives them out and whatever.
But yeah, so let us know in the comments, what you guys think. And, what is your favorite if you have one?
On a side note, I remember I got a comment on one of my updates, and I got a Retribution on DVD, and one of my subscribers said, "I'd rather cut my tongue out than buy one of those movies." Or give them my money. I'm like, just buy the movie used. You won't be giving them your money.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I got a fucking comment where he was like, "Why don't you have Resident Evil 6, dude?" And I was like, the fucking video was uploaded in July of 2013. He's like, "No, you're missing Resident Evil 6.
2012, dude.
This... What?
Because July 2013, RE6 was out.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, it came out then.
Came out October 2012. October 2nd.
Oh no, no, the update was in 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it came out July 2012 when I put the update, and then that guy thought it was funny. And then I wanted to bring up real quick the animated films, just real quick.
Okay.
Might as well. We're talking about the films, and we want to talk about D-Generation. I'm sure we talked about these briefly on the podcast in the past, but what did you think overall of D-Generation? Because I thought that was a really solid CG film,
Yeah.
and really cool to see Chris and Claire back. I mean, not
As
Chris
a
and
Resident
Leon and
Evil
Claire.
fan, I love it.
Yeah.
I think every Resident Evil fan would love it. If you're not a Resident Evil fan, then you probably won't really like it that much.
Yeah, like, if you're just some random guy who just sees, oh, Resident Evil, what the hell is this? And then, you kind of heard of the live action, and you're just like, what the hell? This is something that, like, true fans of, like, the original
Yeah.
series, even 2,
There's a lot
would
of references
appreciate.
to number 2.
Yeah. Even the Raccoon City explosion in the beginning, you kind of see that happening.
Yeah.
Remember on the news reporter, they're all, like,
And
kind
they
of
have,
standing.
like, the flashback of
The
Leon and Claire
flashback,
running
yeah.
through Raccoon City.
That was cool. When I saw that, I was like,
Holy
oh,
shit.
shit. This is the closest thing we have to a remake. Like, I was like, oh, my God.
Now we need a CG movie of the first game.
Yeah, exactly.
But-
Oh, man, that'd be fucking cool.
It was awesome. I really like Chris plays
I
the
remember
bad
buying
guy,
it, yeah.
which is very strange.
Yeah, right? That is kind of funny. Because I remember they released that as, like, a promo for RE5 as well. It came with, like, exclusive, like, footage of RE, like, the sticker on the DVD case is like,
Yeah.
exclusive stuff for RE5. Because I don't have the Blu-ray of that. I still just have the DVD I bought back when it came out, because back then I didn't have a Blu-ray player. But I still gotta get it on
I
Blu-ray.
got the Blu-ray, but I don't have the Blu-ray for Damnation.
Yeah, Damnation was also pretty good.
That one scene, like where Mr. X fights the Lickers,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was fucking epic. That was really, really awesome.
Yeah, if there's one thing Capcom can still do right, is those animated films and little side stories.
It makes me wonder why
The
they don't
animation
do...
looks gorgeous on fucking
Yeah.
Blu-ray. Gorgeous.
D-Generation,
It looks so
It looks
good.
beautiful. It's one of the best Blu-rays you can get.
It looks so good in 1080.
It does,
I'm just like,
it
holy
does.
shit.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking for Damnation. Unfortunately, I didn't see D-Generation, but I'm sure
Oh, yeah.
just by looking at that, it's just as good. Yeah.
You go to any website, it'll be like 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. Like, it's
Oh,
one of
yeah,
those... Like,
It's
I could
one of
just
those
tell
must-see
that, like, when I was
Blu-rays.
watching, I was like, this looks really amazing. And, like, I have the DVD as well. And what I did was I put the DVD in the Xbox 360 and I put the Blu-ray in the PS3. And I paused on the same scene and I kept switching between the channels. I was like, oh my god, the DVD looks so blurry in comparison.
Yeah, I mean,
Holy
they're
shit.
great. I mean, and they're always cool to go back to because they're reminiscent to the games and they're just side stories. It's cool to see Ada and Damnation. And, I really hope they do another one.
I personally like
in the next few
Damnation more
years.
than D-Generation. It was
Yeah,
just a more enjoyable film.
I agree. It was cool seeing kind of like a Birkin type tyrant in G-Generation.
Yeah.
But,
It was awesome
You
seeing.
know-
But I like the Lickers and Ada and
yeah,
Mr.
the
X.
Lickers, yeah,
There's
Mr.
a lot
X.
of RE2 references in Damnation.
Like, if Capcom loves RE2 this much, just give us a fucking remake, please.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's the thing. I hope to see another one of them. They always seem to do it right when another game's supposed to come out. So maybe, when the next Resident Evil comes out, we'll get something, I hope. But we'll see with that. But yeah, so that wraps up our film. We talked about all the films in detail, just our memories with it, our experiences with it, our opinions. And I hope all you guys enjoyed it. I want to hear some comments down below, and let us know what you thought of the podcast. Let us know what you thought of the films, what you just think about them, or if you can't wait for them to get rebooted. And we're probably going to try to have a guest on the show next time. We might. We don't really know what we're going to talk about yet, but we'll think of something on top of that, and we will definitely be, like we said, doing these way more often, and be cool. So we hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for listening to the last episode as well. It has 300 something views, in the high 300s right now, so that's really fucking cool. It's harder to get out there on YouTube nowadays, so that's the one thing that I always see that's consistent with likes and comments, not just views, but likes and comments if you want to talk about something different as far as reception. So it's really cool to hear from you guys, so definitely let your voice be heard, because that's what keeps us going, keeps us doing this. Check out the free download on Mediafire if you want to listen to this on your MP3. It's kind of late for it, but you guys will get the drill. I'll put the link down below if you want to have this as MP3, because people like downloading it, putting it on their iPods and such. And also, I'm going to be doing a Let's Play on Dead Space. And it's going to be, me and Richard are going to be doing the commentary for it. So it's going to be a post-commentary LP. It could be an informative LP as well, I'm not sure. But we're going to have a lot of fun with that as well. So if you guys didn't see my trailer for it, here you go. I'm just going to plug that LP in here real quick because it's going to be uploaded shortly. I'm going to say late February. It's going to start being uploaded. So, yeah, that's going on. What about you, Richard? You want to plug anything while we're here? Or you don't have much going on to the point where you're just like, eh?
Nah. Watch my Separate Ways LP, because I didn't do very well.
Yeah, all right, yeah. So go to his account. I'll put the link in the description if you guys aren't subscribed to his account. He did a LP on Separate Ways, Resident Evil 4, recently, and obviously he's just like me, just having trouble with views on Let's Plays and trying to get out there. I still don't know how many people are going to be watching my Dead Space LP. I don't know, and that's what the first part will show. So me and Rich were talking about this the other night. We were just
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell, and I really hope that people stay consistent and people really like what's going to be shown, because I love Dead Space. Me and Richard love Dead Space, and I always wanted to collaborate. I always wanted to. I always wanted to collaborate on Richard on a full length rather than just a let's play, let's have fun. So I asked him if he wanted to do it. He said yeah. So we're gonna sort out. I'm gonna.
If you do Dead Space and it does well, you should do Dead Space 2. And if that does well, we're gonna do co-op on Dead Space 3.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
One of these days.
Yeah, I would renew my gold just so we can do that, because my gold is out, and I would fucking renew that, because obviously I think you have to be gold. I don't know, but I would just for that. But we'll see what happens. So let your voices be heard. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's Talk Resident Evil. This is episode 9, so we're almost at the big 10 after almost a year. I think we already passed a year, did we?
Yeah, we did.
We did, yeah. So we've been doing this for a year now, but I hope that by the end of this year we can be in our 20s at least. You know what I mean? So I hope we can do this more often. It's fun. I love shooting the shit with Richard. I love knowing that you guys are going to be listening to this and actually watching it. And